Hello, and welcome to my discussion on Mother Bruce. I think you guys will have seen by now that I read this in class, so you kind of already know what the book is about, but I'm still going to tell you. So, a quick little summary of this book is this lovely looking bear on the front loves eggs. He loves making elaborate recipes out of different eggs. So one day he finds a recipe for hard-boiled, honey salmon drizzled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, goose eggs. They're specifically goose eggs. So he goes out, he gets the ingredients, and his last ingredient that he gets is pays a little visit to Mother Goose, Mrs. Goose, and takes her eggs, of course, because why wouldn't he? He's a bear. And after he gets the eggs, he comes back to boil them. His stove fire goes out, so he needs to go get more wood. He comes back from getting wood. Boom. Eggs are hatched. He now is the mother of like 4 or 5 little baby goslings. And he tries to get rid of them. He does not want to be the mother to these bears. He tries to take them back to the nest. He tries to get rid of them. To no ado. So he accepts his fate and watches the geese grow up into what he describes as boring old adult geese. And then when it's time to migrate for the winter, he tries to get them to fly, but they never learned how to fly because they were raised by a bear. So he has to try to slingshot them. That doesn't work. Little tiny planes doesn't work either. So he accepts his fate again. And they all get on a bus together and they migrate to Miami, and that's what they do every winter. And he just is a little family with these geese now, and it's really cute. Kids love it. The visuals are amazingly done. The pictures are so detailed and just huge. And actually, these are the type of pictures, they tell more about the story than the actual words in the books do. Like, I'm going to give you an example of this. I got to find that page. But this is one example is when the geese are growing up. Here we see he makes a mess. The words say it was hard work. And then we just see the baby's making a mess. This is a great picture. He's baby wearing the 4 geese. That's so cute. Typical baby toddlers. They're retching over food after he cooked for them. And in this one, they're all taking a nap together. All of them. And that just tells that the only words on this set of 2 pages is it was hard work. So this is where the pictures especially will tell you more about the story than the words do. Another example is when he's trying to get the geese to leave. The words say, Bruce needed the geese to leave, so he got creative. And then we see a picture of him trying to slingshot them. And then on the next page, we turn the page, and the words simply state, nothing worked. The geese would not leave Bruce. And here is where we get the little airplanes thing. And then we go into the end of the book and we talk about them migrating to Miami. But, so the pictures actually tell a lot more about the details of the story than the words do. And I think that was a really cool part of this book, especially with reading it to young children like I have before. A lot of the times they don't understand words, and pictures are a big thing to them. So when there's funny pictures and detailed pictures to go along with the words, it creates that good association. This is a fiction book. I would also call it a comedy fiction book, personification, because we personify a bear and baby geese as and they act like humans do. So that's what I would say this genre falls into. Definitely fiction, more fantasy fiction with hints of personification and fairy tale almost. It is a Disney book, so it is kind of fairy tale like in a way. One of my favorite quotes is not really a quote, but it's at the very end of the book. It's the last page, one of the last pages. So on the page before, we have the Miami scene, and it says, "And migrated to Miami. Now every winter, Bruce and his geese head south together. They laze about at the beach in tacky shirts, slipping ice-cold lemonade while Bruce dreams of new recipes. Recipes that don't hatch." And then at the very last page, before we just get ocean scenes and cover art, we get this lovely picture. And it's one of the baby geese that was raised by Mother Bruce, and then a little tiny baby turtle who finds this goose and goes, "Mama?" I just think that that is a beautiful way to end the book. I think it's hilarious. I think it's wonderful. Yeah, I love that part so much. The strengths of this book, it's well written, it's simple, it's easy to understand, but the pictures add more detail, and I think that is just such a lovely part of this book, as I've said probably about 6 times in this video now. Weaknesses, I can't really think of any, honestly. I think this is just all around a really good book. The only thing I could think of is it maybe gives children a false reality of what animals actually do, and they may walk away from this book thinking that animals actually act like this. But I think to anyone over the age of 5, you can explain, you know, this is fantasy, animals don't act like this. Like, it's very simply repaired, the issue with this book. In a classroom setting, I think this is just a fun book to read for story time. But if you wanted to do an activity with it, you could have them continue the story after, you know, them migrating to Miami. You could have the children come up with, you know, a second book. There are more books in this Mother Bruce series of books, which I have not read. I just found out that they existed in class, which is amazing. I want to read them now. But have them make up their own sequel. Tell about the life of Bruce and the geese after their winter in Miami, or during their winter in Miami. What happens to them in Miami, I think, would be a super fun activity for first and second graders, and it gets them engaged with the book. We could also just do a cute little art project coloring page where they color the little goose family, Bruce's family. That could be super cute. You could do a lot of things with this book. Then also, if you don't, this would just be a really fun book for story time. So yeah, this has been Mother Bruce. I highly recommend achieving this book for your future classroom libraries. It's just so good.